I set my business up at 22. By 24, I'd made $1 million. By 29, I'd done 10 million. And here's how I did it. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video, and I'm going to share with you a bonus on what you can do right now with a product that you could sell maybe 1,000 units a day, because that's what I did. 1,000 units of this one product. Hey, it's Ste Staley here, and I'm here to help you become your best self and live your best life. Before we get started in the video, could you give it a thumbs up? It'll be most appreciated, and it makes a big difference. The first part is realization. Realization as in business realization. My first business was, I think I was about 8 years old. I'd go onto the field around the back and I'd find golf balls. My brothers were older than me. I had a brother that was 2 years older and one that was 5 years older, so they had a bit of pocket money and I didn't. And I would sell my golf balls. I remember writing out, I used to charge about 65p for them. So I was doing it at a very young age. My mum and dad, bless them, they didn't really give us pocket money. That was my first memory of a business. From there, it went into paper rounds. My gosh. Working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You got paid £8. You had to get up every day. I didn't like getting up in the morning. It was crazy. I guess I was learning the value of money. For whatever reason, the news agents paid £1.30, I think it was. Yeah, £1.30 a round on Sunday. I'm just gonna do 4 paper rounds on Sunday. I only have to get up once and I'll get £5.20. Typically, I used to get jobs and soon figure out better ways to probably do those jobs. And I remember coming back from paper round one day and there was a car, my mum was at the door, a car had pulled up. I could see them because I could see as I was coming up to my parents' house, and I could see a guy handing over some money for free of my games. And I got to my house, I said, Mum, what was that? Oh, someone's just come and bought free games off you, Stephen, and gave me a 50 quid note. Never seen a 50 quid note before. I was a kid. I was like, wow. And I remember speaking to my granddad before he passed away. I was saying to him, you know, Grandad, if you could live your life again, is there anything you could change? Because the last thing I want to do is get to the end of my life and regret anything. I can't. That'd be devastating to me. And I remember him looking up at me. He had to think about it, and he looked up at me and he said, yeah, if I could go back and start my life over again, I'd set up my own business. When he said that, I had to set up a business. I did go through education because I remember I went to university. I wasn't ready to get a job, and during university I was still setting up little side hustles, if you want to call them that. I set up an arcade business, and we went up to this caravan site and cleared out the entire massive arcade. Yeah, it was amazing. We got about 25, 30 arcade machines. I can't even remember actually. And I started selling some bits that we didn't need on eBay, and we soon realised, wow. So whilst I was at university, I studied 2 courses. I did film and television and went back and did a degree after film and television in multimedia design. Now, the internet was brand new. This gave me a big advantage. So I come out of a university with some really good internet-based multimedia skills, and I already knew I was going to set up a company, and it soon dawned on me I was going to set up a video games company. I wanted to set up a games company, didn't have a clue how to do business. I left university with £53 in the bank and about £1,600 student loan, which is not much, I know, but I was working whilst I was at university, and I obviously had these side hustles. I remember working in game for 3 months because I just wanted to see what my future competitors were doing, you know, at retail. I learned a lot actually in those 3 months, despite having hardly any money in the bank, and I'll tell you in a minute how I generated my cash flow. Hardly any money. Got a merchant account, started developing a website. I remember building about 100 pages, got the latest games on there. It was the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era. They were the new systems at the time. And yeah, I remember actually phoning Sony up and asking them, where do you buy your games from? Do you know what they said? Centresoft, straight away in Birmingham, the biggest Sony distributor. The biggest takeaway from this video is, if anyone tries to tell you business is difficult or it's complicated, or your mind tries to convince you it is, ignore it, because it's not. But most important of everything is getting in there and executing, because if you don't execute, you're gonna be talking about it forever. And obviously back then there was no CRMs, everything was bespoke, everything. So I used Excel to write down all the customers' orders, and then another Excel sheet to write down what games I needed to buy, and that was it. And I was always flirting between these 2 screens until after about maybe 8 months, 10 months, I started earning enough money to take on a programmer. The programmer, and he was like £20 an hour, and that was a big step for me. I tried to learn programming myself because I wanted to try and save £20 an hour, but it was horrible. Back then the games, they used to cost, new release games were about $39.99. Pretty much all of them were about £40, and I saw the prices all these retailers were paying for them, and I realised I could undercut the high street by a £5, no problem. and still make a bit of money. So I used to go out at £34.75, that was my sweet spot. The latest Grand Theft Auto comes along, £34.75, and I'd sell thousands of them. And this is what I did. The more you sell, the better it is to negotiate with the distributors to get a cheaper price, obviously. So that's what I used to do, and I amassed a huge amount of pot of money basically to invest in the company just by doing that. Now I admit I don't even know if companies would just offer you a credit account today, but back then they'd start at about £5,000, they'd give you £5,000 or 10 grand straight away, and some of my credit accounts would be 100, 150,000, and I basically would go out and blast all the money straight away, because I believed in my business model that much. I'd spend 100 grand or 150 grand, I'd pay for it 30, 60 or 90 days after when I originally spent the money, and by the time I'd paid for it, I'd already started spending more money, so I was always at the limit of the credit. Because I knew, unless this business ends, that money's mine forever. So I'm going to always use it, and I'm going to always take it because it's interest-free. It's like interest-free loans, do you know what I mean? Now I'll keep this bit quite brief, but when I look back, there was 3 things that grew the business over a long period of time. The first thing was setting up with an affiliate network. I remember about half of all our website sales came from affiliate marketing. I ended up joining 2 affiliate networks, and one of them went on to become the biggest in the UK. But if you increased your inventory and dropped it on sales channels, constantly increased your inventory, so bringing in more suppliers, getting all their data. This supplier's got 3,000 products, this one's got 5, this one's got 6. Put them in a database. Start throwing them out to sales channels. That is the best thing to do. Increase your sales channels, increase your inventory. So yeah, after when I pulled in all these companies I was working with, I'd see their stock list. In the early days, it was on an Excel sheet. Just going back to what I said before about keeping it simple and increasing your sales channels and your inventory is going to equal so much more revenue for your business. I remember in the early days, I was stuck at about 1.5 million a year in revenue. And then one year I was like, I'm not having this anymore. I'm not having this. And I put the afterburners on big time. And that's exactly what I did. I brought in much more inventory. I bought big. And in that year I went from 1.5 million to 6.2 million. And that was the biggest single jump back then. And that's all it was. Increasing product lines, increasing sales channels. So my formula was this simple, right? And I wrote it on the whiteboard. I had 2 big whiteboards at work. And I put sales channels times inventory equals world domination. This is it, it's as simple as that. Increase inventory, increase the sales channels. I need to go out and find the sales channels. You guys need to plug us in. And back then, each sales channel would take one developer about 3 months to plug in. So yeah, going back to the formula, dead simple, I would double down on that. That was my focus. Increase inventory. At that point, I spent all my time seeking out sales channels and new suppliers. Sales channels, new suppliers. And I'd just get all the other work that I used to be doing. And that's all I was doing, looking at the opportunities for growth. That's probably my biggest tip I could give any entrepreneur. Free up your time so you can find opportunities to scale. Well, do you know at the start of the video when I said I'll tell you a bonus at the end how you can sell 1,000 units a day of a product? Well, I did get products made in China, and I did it for a bit of a laugh, to be honest. At the same time, I wanted market share. I didn't care about making money, as in profit on these products. So I'd get headsets, game pads, chargers, all sorts of peripherals, multi-taps and stuff. I used to sell over 1,000 units a day of, and it was a dead simple product. It was the little thumb grips you put on the PlayStation 4 controller pad. Charger docks. Now charger docks, third-party ones, don't have to be official Sony, official Microsoft. These ones, usually are third-party, the best-selling ones on Amazon. And I've gone on tonight and I've noticed that there's a PS5 charger on there for £18. I bet you it cost them about £8 to be made in China, right? The biggest takeaway is keep it simple. Definitely don't let your mind ever think you can't do it. Don't ever think it's overcomplicated. Don't ever look at a business model and go, oh no, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this or that, and then shelve it because you just can't. Just get started. I know, I'm sure a million people have told you that, but try and keep it as simple as possible. Fundamentally, what I experience can still be done right now. 100% can be. And I know someone watching can do this. And the last thing, you're probably wondering, would I ever do it again? And I wouldn't. I don't think I'll ever do it again. And also the gaming industry is been and gone pretty much now because of downloads. My objectives in life are so different now than what they were when I was younger. I'll give an example. I used to want to be the world's richest man. Now it's something else. Yes, I know it sounds a bit crazy, but that was one of my motivating factors, and also one of my biggest fears was getting to the end of my life and be having so much money and regretting working that hard and missing out on all these life experiences. And that was a genuine big fear of mine. And now that I'm no longer on that trajectory, I'm quite happy that I'm off it. That being said, you can do everything in moderation. You can easily have a successful business and not let it take over your life like mine did take over my life. Yeah, good luck. I hope you've liked the video. Comment down below, subscribe. Also, send some comments down. Any questions you've got, I'm more than happy to help, and answer them. Okay, until next time.